So only 33 people joined. Let me take the attendance once. Let's start the class. Okay, so can someone please tell me what is the last thing we are studying? So have we covered this total cost, fixed cost, variable cost, these kinds of things?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, I think so. I have stopped here, the basic decision making process, right?
Yes, up to you.
Okay, chalo. So today, what we'll be doing, we'll be just learning some of the nomenclature, some of the names. And whenever you will be working in your actual job as a manager, so these are the very frequent terms you have to come to listen. Okay, so your manager will be sometimes repeatedly tell these kinds of terms. So from today, actually, your these kinds of name you have to learn for the Indian economic class. So you know, for any project, the engineering economics or managers mainly concerned about to how to manage the cost, right? Manage the expenditure. So this cost is a most important element, right? Otherwise, if you do not get the cost estimated, or if you do not get the idea of the cost, and you will not be able to idea of your profit also. So that's why there's something we need to learn about the costs. And these are the some very basic terms about the engineering costs. Those are fixed cost, variable cost, average cost, marginal cost. So any cost, or let's say there is a project that there are total cost. So total cost we can think of in two terms. One is fixed cost and another is variable cost. So as I repeatedly request you, please adhere to the class, and you just try to take the concept. Then it will be much more easier to sometimes some complicated questions, MCQ questions come from these things. So fixed cost is what? So you see, let's say you are a manager of a production setup. There is some production is going on. So fixed cost is those kinds of cost which doesn't change upon increase or decrease of production. Okay. Let's say you are producing something, you have taken a factory or taken a home as a rent. Okay. So whether you produce or not, you have to pay the rent for the month, right? So those are my fixed costs. On the other hand, let's say you want to increase your production, that's why you have to increase your raw materials too. Then based on increase or decrease of production, these raw materials is actually the cost of raw materials also increasing. So those kinds of costs are variable costs. So these you need to be very much careful. So whatever varies with increase or decrease of production, those we will be calling variable cost. And sometimes what is not varying with increase or decrease of production, we will be calling it fixed cost. Okay. So any kind of cost is two part. One is fixed cost and another is variable cost. Okay. দু রকমের cost হয়, একটা fixed cost and একটা variable cost. Now, what is average cost? So now let's say manager want to get a overall idea. What is my, let's say, average cost of the production right now going on? So what you will be doing? You will just divide the number of units produced with the total cost. So total cost divided by the number of units produced. So this will give your average cost. So again, whenever nothing is mentioned, it is always average cost. Otherwise, it will be mentioned like AFC, AVC, average fixed cost, average variable cost. So for average fixed cost, what you will be doing? You will just divide total fixed cost divided by the number of units produced. Or for variable cost, total variable cost divided by number of units produced. Okay. So average cost is nothing but the total cost divided by number of units produced. And this is the important thing decision makers use to just the overall cost picture. Okay, so what is the overall cost picture of this project, right? But there is another important concept of marginal cost. So marginal cost is what? We will be doing some Excel example, then I think it will be much more clearer. So marginal cost is nothing but what is my cost for 1 unit changes of my production. Okay, this is the concept of derivative. If you are someone from mathematics background, these are the concept of derivative. So 1 unit change of production, how much unit of change of cost is going on? That is my marginal cost. So how we can be able to calculate? Let's say I requested everyone to keep a copy and pen so you can write it down also. Let's say MC equals to TC2 minus TC1 divided by P2 minus P1. You can write like this. So the numerator is the change of cost. Okay, so let's say I was earlier producing P1 number of units, and then I'm increasing it to P2. So now my increase of production is P2 minus P1, right? So this will come into my denominator, and let's say P1 I was producing at the cost of TC1, and P2 I am producing now at the cost of TC2. Then my changes in total cost is TC2 minus TC1. So this TC2 minus TC1 divided by P2 minus P1 is your marginal cost. So we can write it down either total, the definition is total cost for 1 more unit of production. Okay, for 1 more unit. So it is same like total in calculating marginal cost. Even if you calculate without just not taking total cost, you can take variable cost also. Because you know fixed costs are always fixed, right? So it is not going to change. So the changes in fixed cost is always 0. Only the variable costs are changing. So if you just take the difference of total cost, if you take the difference of variable cost, both are same. Okay, it doesn't change. So that's the definition sometimes written also, the total cost or variable cost for 1 more unit of production. And this is the important decisions manager take, whether how much additional unit. So you know now you can calculate with one increase of 1 additional unit, how much cost is now increasing. So based on that you can easily decide. So now how much additional unit you should make into the production. So these kinds of decisions you can take it. Okay. And now these are the some examples of fixed cost and variable cost. So now someone please tell me, let's say factory floor space. So it is a fixed cost or variable cost. The cost for factory floor space, it is a fixed cost or variable cost.
Fixed cost.
Yes. And labor cost?
Variable.
Variable cost, right? Though labor cost is little bit tricky. Let's say so. If it is not written anything, so labor costs are always variable cost, because you know increase in production you need to increase your labors. But many of the books, some books I found that labor cost they have written fixed cost, some books they have written variable cost. So if any example is given, you have to remember if your labors are changing, then it is only labor cost. So sometimes what happens, you know, you are just increasing your production little bit. For that side, you have to increase only the raw materials or only those kinds of things. Okay, you don't have to increase the labor, but maybe the time you need to increase. So in the earlier time they cannot cover the same number of labor cannot cover these kinds of production. So then maybe the time you are increasing. So that's why sometimes it is also written fixed or variable. But if it is not written anything, I request you to please write labor cost is a variable cost. Okay. So there will be much more example. Let's say you give tomorrow's example, and then I will share what are the books you have to go through. You don't, I personally don't think you have to go through the books, but still if you think you can go through, if you get the concepts, I don't think even book is necessary. Okay. So there are so many examples are also in their books, so you can easily understand. So what are the fixed costs and what are the variable costs? Okay. Now let me give you one example. Yeah, let's say one of your friend, let's say your CR or anyone. So he or she got some project, and she came to know that there is a mega science event is going on in the science city. Okay, and that is actually the basic economics example I want to give you. Then And later on, unit 2, unit 3, it will be much more complicated. But yeah, this is the basic example. Let's take right now. Okay, it's a real life example. Okay. So now she has to organize a mega science event, and also she want to take her friends from the class to take there in the science city, and she have to make arrangement all these kinds of things, and also she want to make some profit from it. Okay, so it is like a business setup, and why she doesn't have personal interest, she want to make that profit to donate into some NGO, let's say. Okay, so now this is the problem. And as I told you, the decision making process, the first you need to understand the problem. So then you have to come into the solution. So here, she now need to understand, she now need to collect some informations, right? So what she will do, she first thought that, yes, okay, one bus is required. And then she contact with the agents or maybe the offices like that. And then she got some information. Okay, the information are like that bus rent is rupees 4,000. And event ticket is rupees 500 per student. So science city ticket is rupees 500 per student. And she has to buy another diesel of rupees 3,000 for the bus. And also she is planning for some replacement because it's a whole day program. So rupees 250 per student. And bus driver will additionally take rupees 3,000. So these are the information she collected. Okay. So now tell me, here bus rent is a fixed cost or variable cost?
So that is the
Bus-
fixed cost.
Bus rent fixed cost, right? Because now let me ask the next question. Event ticket is a fixed cost and variable cost?
The variable.
No, variable. Yeah, whoever is taking variable, you have give me the explanation of why you are saying it is a variable.
So because the number of tickets to be sold will be variable. It won't be the same.
Yes,
for all
yes,
the
it is.
time.
Yeah, it is basic mathematical examples. It is based on the number of students. That's it. You cannot fix because maybe 10 students, then the total cost is 5,000. If 20, then it is coming 10,000 like this. Okay, so it is the 500 multiply the number of students. So that is the total, because it is a project. So you have to calculate the total cost. Then based on the number of students, you are getting the how much money you are collecting for the event ticket, total event ticket. Okay, so that's why it is variable. So the diesel is a fixed cost because this is a one-time cost you have to pay for the whole day. Replacement again is a variable cost because rupees 250 per student, and bus driver is a fixed cost. Okay, so now you see for this example, total fixed cost is rupees 4,000 for the bus rent, diesel 3,000, and bus driver 3,000. Okay, so rupees 10,000. And variable cost is 500 for event ticket and replacement 250, and it is per student, so rupees 750 per student. Okay, so now I can make a very basic mathematical equation that my total cost equals to 10,000 plus 750 multiplied by x. Okay, and when you see 10,000 in my fixed cost and 750 multiplied by x is my total variable cost. Okay, so x equals to number of students. So there is also, like decision making process, there is also economic criteria or restriction. So the CR actually thought she can only book one bus. There are 50 or 60 students, so it is not wise decision to book two bus. And also on the other hand, there is a bus has a number of students, limited seats, let's say 50. Okay, so now this is kind of restriction she also has to taken care of. Okay, so this is like economic criteria. Okay, so x equals to number of students, and there is also some limitation which is number of seats at bus. But because maybe your students you want to go by standing, but whoever is actually paying the price might not be in real business scenario might not be willing to bus just going by standing. Okay, so that's the number of students limited to the number of seats at bus. So now let's say, on the other hand, now she want to calculate what would be the possible kind of total cost. So what the CR did that made the event price. Event price I am meaning, so event price is the total price she will be collecting from the students. So she will not now disclosing all the information to the students. Then it will be much more clumsy. Okay, she as a manager, what will be doing? She will throw some event price, and let's say that is Y. So now what is the total profit or total revenue? Is Y multiplied by X, right? So Y is the event price, or is the money she is collecting from each of the students. There is total number of students, is expected number of students will be going into the event is X. So total profit is y multiplied by x. So now what we can make another equation that total profit is equals to total revenue minus total cost. So total revenue means total. So revenue is not profit. Revenue is whatever you are earning, right? So profit is what? Profit is revenue minus cost. So revenue is what? Y multiplied by x. You are getting this amount of money from your friends, and minus total cost is 10,000 plus 750 multiplied by x, which I stated earlier. Okay, this is our fixed cost plus variable cost. So now this is the equation. So now let's see what C will be doing. Let's say with some contact with the friends, C now assume that there is the possibility, okay, the number of students would be 40. Now what C can do, C can easily do some trial and error method of calculation. Let's say x equals to 40 and y equals to 1500. Okay. Now if you just put the value, you will see that y equals to 1500, x equals to 40. This side is let me ballpoint. So this side will be coming around 60,000, and this side 750 multiplied 40, 30,000, 40,000. So now if x equals to 40 and y equals to 1500, you just calculate, you will see total profit equals to 20,000. Okay. So this is the idea she is getting with just taking a x based on thinking of some criteria that this is the possible kind of number of students and this is the event price. So now she can be able to calculate the total profit. Now she can increase or decrease this y, and now she can decide what is the total profit. This is a trial and error method. That's why it's a very basic thing I am telling you. Now let's say there is another important thing we will be discussing again in unit 3, and many MCQ questions come from that part, but it is very easy to understand right now. We call it break-even analysis. Okay, so break-even analysis is nothing but, let's say now my left hand side total profit is 0. Okay, the seer doesn't want to make any profit from her friends. Okay, and why I am saying this is break-even, because you know, if I somehow be able to calculate the break-even point, then beyond that she is going to make profit, and below that she is going to make loss. Now see this equation. I am now going to make the profit equal to 0, and this is my profit side and this is my revenue minus cost. So now see, I am taking my y, my event prices, as a variable, and I got some information and collected the x is equals to 40. Okay, so now 40 into y minus 10,000 plus 750 into 40. Now if you just solve this left hand side and right hand side, you will get a y equals to 1000. So this is the minimum event price. So sometimes in engineering economics they also call it the break even event price. Okay, break even price. Okay, so you can easily just do trial and error method. So at rupees 1000, let's the CR, it takes rupees 1000 from each of the students, then she is not going to make any profit, zero profit. And beyond that, even if she takes 1001, she will make some profit. And below that, even if she takes 999 rupees, so she is going to make loss. Okay, she has to give money from his pocket, his or her pocket. Okay, so this is the break-even point. Though the term will come again in unit 3, but you see this is the very petty basic example. So there also we will be doing cost side and profit side will be equating, and then we will get the mathematics. Okay, but that will be much more engineering economics kinds of problems. Okay, so this is the basic profit kind of setup. This is a very basic economic profit kind of setup we do for the for these kinds of engineering economics problems. Okay, so now let's say I am going to now enter into some mathematics part, and let me. Yeah. So now you see what happened. Let me come back to it. Let me share some Excel first. I think that will be much easier. Oh, I have not shared the video of that LAM research guy, right? Okay, I will share it. After the exam, I will share it. So now you can see my Excel sheet.
Yes, sir.
Excel sheet,
Yes.
yeah, right. So now this you take I will share also this Excel sheet and also my PPT after today's class. Okay. Oh, I think I have already shared. Okay. So now you can also open, whoever is working from desktop or laptop, you can open also. So this is a production setup I have written, and this is I have tried to make it in whatever is near to reality. Okay. And it happens even in reality. If you understand these kinds of Excel sheet, then you can easily understand how the project is going on. Okay, so let's say there is a project, there is a production going on for electric bulbs. So I am a manager. I am engaging some junior engineers. It is my labor side, let's say. So I am engaging some junior engineers. So for 0 junior engineer, my production will be 0. Okay, but still I have to pay some fixed cost, right? Maybe I have to pay for the rent, maybe pay for some other fixed cost. So still the fixed cost is there, 15,000. My variable cost is 0 because my production is also 0. So my total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. So C2 plus D2 is 15,000. And for that, you see, there is no production. I cannot be able to calculate AFC, AVC, ATC, MC. Okay. Now I am increasing my junior engineer. And just engaging one junior engineer in a month, I can be able to produce 4,000 electric bulbs. Okay. Engaging 2 junior engineers, you see, though engaging 1 engineer, it is 4,000. For engaging 2, it is not 8,000. So in reality, it happens like this. It is not always true. In engaging more laborers, you will get the equal in ratio method. You will get the production. So as you engage more laborers, your rate of growth also reduces. Okay, so we sometimes in economics we call it marginal increase. So marginal increase also reduces. Okay, so you see, after engaging 2 laborers, two junior engineers, your production is 7,000 because now you know there is some other variables come up, and so it is not in reality also like this. 4,000, it is not always, though it is not it is not always. Sometimes it might happen that 2 junior engineers can produce 8,000, but in long term, if you see, this is the engineering economic theory, that in long term, as you increase the number of laborers, the rate of production also reduces. Okay, so now I am engaging 3 junior engineers. Then you see there is 9,000 production, 4 10,000, 5 10,600, 6 11,000, 7 11,400. But if you see after certain time, with that the same kind of setup. And right now I have only one variable, my labor. Okay, so same kind of setup, I am engaging a higher number, 8. My production is also going to be reduced. Okay, 11,400 to 11,200. Now, if you see this fixed cost and variable cost side, fixed cost is always same. How many engineers you are going to engage? My fixed cost is always same. And my variable cost, if you see, 10,000. Let's say 10,000 is my salary for the junior engineer as example. So you see, it is just a direct ratio with the number of junior engineers. So 10,000 multiplied by 1, 10,000 multiplied by 2. So it is just a direct ratio. So here my equation is like, you can see that we can write that PC equals to fixed cost FC plus VC for each junior engineer multiplied by number of junior engineers, right? So this is my equation, total cost. And now I can be able to calculate total cost. Now what is my average fixed cost? Average fixed is total fixed cost. So the column C divided by the number of production. So number of production is 4,000. And then what is my average variable cost? Average variable cost is again my total variable cost divided by number of production. What is the average total cost? Average total cost, you see E3 by V3. Total cost divided by the number of production. Okay. So I can be easily calculate for each of the situation. Okay. And then what is my marginal cost? If you see that E3 minus E2 here, E3 minus E2 divided by B3 minus B2. So what is that? You see, now my products total cost has increased to 25,000 from 15,000. Okay. So now my increase is 25,000 and 15,000 E3 minus E2 divided by B3 minus B2. So my production was now 4,000 and earlier it was 0. So B3 minus B2. Okay. So now you will also be able to calculate the marginal cost. Now if you clearly see, if I plot this total cost and marginal cost, average total cost and marginal cost. So So this red line is my average cost. And if you see, initially it is decreasing and then it is increasing slightly. Even if you see the value, it is initially decreasing and then it is actually increasing. And on the other hand, marginal cost, so you always remember average cost is overall average cost, the overall average total cost divided by number of products. Okay, this is the overall idea about the average cost, right? And marginal cost is my cost with increase of 1 unit of production. Okay, and you see average marginal cost is starting just below from the average total cost, and then it actually cuts down the below and then going up at certain interval, and then it is reducing and reducing. Okay, and even after sometimes it is negative. If you see, when my labor is so much, it is actually giving me negative kind of value. Okay, so actually my production is actually decreasing, the rate of production is actually decreasing. Okay, so this is the pattern, this is the characteristics of any kind of project actually goes on. So that's you need to understand. You again can go to after the class you can go through the Excel sheet, but the important questions always come from the MCQ. They never miss this question, that the answer is MC cuts the ATC from below, down below. So you see, always any example you take, MC will always cuts down the below. So MC is actually crossing ATC after some time. And if you see this column, I have made it yellow, where MC is equals to ATC. So this is your optimal solution. This is the best situation you are actually come up from this project. So you as a manager, you is always try to equal MC equals to ATC, where your MC is not increasing because that is also a cost, and also your ATCs are not decreasing. So you see, you have to balance both those two things, MC equals to ATC. Okay. So now based on this example, I am coming into one mathematics example. So you will get very frequently in the exam, even final exam, they suddenly give this kind of example. Okay. So you know my Excel example, and now you are able to see my PPT.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. এবার তুমি এই পিপিটিতে দেখো, so I have written down that PC equals to FC plus VC. So it is not always that your variable cost side is always like a direct kind of. Earlier what was happened, number of junior engineers multiplied by 10,000 salary. So it is, I can write it down 10,000 into X. Okay, but it might happen it is a function of production in any number of terms. So it may be a non-linear also, like this kinds of thing I have written. So how they derive this? So in reality, in exam, you don't have to do these kinds of thing. It will be directly, there will be this kinds of equation, then you have to solve it. But in reality, what happens? So 1 month ago, actually one company actually approached me. So they need to estimate. There are many things they need to estimate, but let's see, for that part, I need to estimate the variable cost. So, you know, so they have informed me about the whole project scenarios, and then we came together and then we understood there are 200 factors for which the variable cost is actually depending on. So more than, I think I can remember 206 factors were there. So now you can see, understand, so how big is the equation is. Okay. And you know, it is not always depends on the production. In your engineering economics, this is unofficial thing I am telling you. In engineering economics, you will only be able to see as the equation of production, but in reality, there are many other factors. Many other factors actually you need to take care of to estimate variable cost. So what they do, let's say now they want to understand what is their estimated total cost, a company. So what they will do, let's say they have past data. Okay, for last 10 years. Every month data they have, okay, 120 data. Okay, so now what they will be doing, as it is past, so they already know about it. So there is a one column of total cost and one column of number of units production, because ultimately, you know, we have to bring into as a mathematical formula on the based on production. Okay, so one column is total cost and another column is number of units of production. Okay, in Excel like this, if you see, you know, this is the total cost, so they have this column and also they have this column production. Now if you just plot this thing, this total cost and number of units of production, so if you just insert and you just make a line, this kinds of thing. Okay, and you know what you can do in x-axis, you keep the production, and y-axis you keep the total cost. Okay, I'm editing. This is the total cost, and here you remove this, and now plot. So you see, this is the I am plotting the number of production. Okay. It is gone opposite actually. So this is your x-axis. So x-axis you take this. Sorry. And y-axis you take this y-axis, total cost. So this is the scenario. Okay. Whatever. Okay. So this is the scenario you will get. Let me change it. Let me take just the x-axis. From here. Okay, this is my x-axis. Now I need to remove this, and y-axis. Let's see total cost in the name. I think you all are very much frequent in the Excel. I think so. That's why easy to make it okay, and then make it okay. So this is again data. For that, let me do this thing. Then we make it okay. Then okay. Okay. Now you get the graph. Okay. So my x-axis now is the number of production, and y-axis by the total cost. So now if you see, you can just fit a there is there is a add trend line equation, and add trend line if you just fit a linear, then you will see, and also there is a set intercept 0 or not doesn't set any intercept, and display equation on chart. So you will see this equation I am getting. Are you able to see the equation? Y equals to 10,000 x plus 5,000.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So okay. So now you are being able to calculate as a linear term. Okay. So it is not always happen like this kind of linear equation. It sometimes happen like this. It is a non-linear equation. So these kinds of thing also you might come up. Okay. So this is an example of that. So in this equation, 1000 is my fixed cost, and 200 q minus 10 q square, which is actually depending on the number of production. Q is my total number of units produced. Okay, and based on that, I can get the variable cost. So now I want to. My question is, what would be the level of optimum output? Now I need to calculate the optimum output, and in layman term, at which value of Q I will get my best production scenario. So you can think like that also. So what I will be doing? Here you see there is a I am calculating AFC. Now I want to calculate the average fixed cost. So what is the average fixed cost? My total fixed cost is 1000, and my production is Q, number of units production. So 1000 divided by Q is my average fixed cost. What is my average variable cost? You see my variable cost is 200 Q minus 10 Q square. So 200 Q minus 10 Q square divided by Q. 200 minus 10 Q is my variable cost. What is my average total cost? So the whole equation is your average total cost. So I have to divide it by total number of production. So 1000 divided by Q plus 200 minus 10 Q is your average total cost. And what is your marginal cost? So marginal cost, I told you in definition, it is like a derivative. Okay, if you just understand the interpretation of the mathematical derivative, it is 1 unit change, one unit change of the numerator side, and one unit change of the denominator side. Dy by dx is nothing but 1 unit change in y for 1 unit change in x. Okay. So now I have to calculate the marginal cost equation just by taking DTC by DQ. So now DTC means my total cost is this equation. So I will be just DDQ of this equation. Okay. So 1000 is 0, 200 Q is 200, and you know 10 Q square derivative is 2Q. So it is minus 220Q. Okay. I think you all are able to do derivative. Okay. So my marginal cost is 220Q. Okay. So now if you go to the Excel example, so it is always my optimal output. The equation for my optimal output is MC equals to ATC. Marginal cost equals to average total cost. So my marginal cost is 200 minus 20Q, and my average total cost is 1000 by Q plus 200 minus 10Q. Now if you just okay, now it is always my equation MC equals to ATC. So if you just someone be able to equate these two equations, 1000 by Q plus 200 minus 10Q equals to 200 minus 20Q. What is the value of Q? Someone just calculate, tell me. Okay.
So then it will come Q square equals to minus 100.
It is becoming Q square to minus 100. If I take MC equals to ATC, you just do left hand side equals to right hand side. Look, let me see, 200 and minus 20Q equals to 1000 by Q, and Q square. Okay. If we just take this side of this thing, now 10Q is equals to minus 1000 by Q, and 10Q square equals to 1000. Q square equals to minus 1000 is coming. Okay. So yeah, I think I have did some maybe little bit mistake. So it should come like Q square equals to 100, and I think there will be no equation will come like this in your exam where you will get this kind of scenario. So I have made this randomly. So now I get this, that Q square equals to minus 100 it is coming, right? So even Q square equals to minus 100, so it is like a complex value. So complex value should not come. So Q square equals to 100 should come, and Q equals to plus minus 10. So you do not take minus 10, so you have to take the plus 10. Okay. And so this will be the way you will be solving like this. Okay. So let me check this. I think in your exam or whatever the multiple choice question will come, you will not get this kinds of scenario, but you have to solve. I'm just trying to say that you have to solve just equating MC equals to ATC. Okay. Then what is the value of Q? It might come in for nonlinear equation, for quadratic equation, it might come like Q square equals to 100. Then you take only the plus value, Q equals to 10. Okay. So let me take this thing. This is I think yeah, it is okay. 200 plus 5Q plus 2Q square. Even if you see that if you take Q equals to 1, 200 minus 10, 190. Yeah, it might possible, but yeah, in this scenario it is coming in the negative value or in complex value. So let's say this equation also, this is 200 plus 5Q plus 2 square. You see that average total cost is 200 by Q plus 5 plus 2Q, but not, this would be not 2Q, this would be 4Q. No. This will be 2Q because I am just dividing with the Q. So I am dividing Q with the total cost function. Then you see 200 by Q plus 5 plus 2Q. Okay. On the other hand, marginal cost is 5 plus 4Q. Okay. I am just taking the derivative based on Q. Now I am doing 80 equals to MC. So 200Q plus 5 plus 2Q is to 5 plus 4Q. Now you see 2Q square equals to 200, Q square equals to 100, Q equals to 10. So this would be the problem you will be definitely getting in the final exam as well as, let's say, CA1 exam. So these are the things. Now, let me finish here. Okay, I will not go on. After that, I will do after the CA1 exam. Okay, because for section B also I have stopped here. And anybody has any doubt, you can tell me right now. I have 5 minutes more, or otherwise we will be dispersing for today's class. Okay. Oh, one thing, I haven't started with your section 2, so I told you no. So first let me, anybody has any doubt in understanding this mathematical problems or any kind of marginal cost on these kinds of things, I think yeah, you can go through the PPT and also the Excel sheet. I think it will be much more clearer. Maybe if it is right now you are seeing much difficulties in understanding this. So I think it is pretty much easy for you guys.
Sir, attendance.
See, attendance I will take. Right now I have 6 minutes left. So I told you, I told you. At the end of the class, based on my personal experience or whatever, I think whatever we do not cover in our education curriculum generally. So I will be just telling one sentence and you have to write it down. Okay. Then let's see after 3 or 4 months how many sentences we can write it down. Okay. So these are the very important sentences I personally think can changes anyone's life, or this is the most important things in the life. So last day, have I told anything to your section? Any sentence I have to share you? Someone can share. Which one?
Sir, you did not share anything.
Okay. I studied for the other section. Okay. Then this is the first thing. Okay. So you take your copy and just you write it down that live in the present moment. Okay. Always live in the present moment. This is the line. This is the quotation for you for today's class. Okay. So you see, whenever ultimately the objective of the life is to be in the happiest state of mind. Okay. So if you just observe, whenever you play, or let's say you go to shopping mall to purchase something and you are very much focused into it, or you are playing mostly, or you are giving exam. So you see, then your mind always stays in your present level, present scenario, okay, present status. And you are always unhappy whenever you actually hovered around past or future. Either you are worried about your future or you are thinking about past. So this is the key thing. I will not explain because I am not here to teach you. Let's take it as a fun part of the class. So you can write it down that always live in the present moment, and you can make a flower in front of it at the end of it. And yeah, that's it. Okay, always live in the present moment. And if you just sometimes, any one of you just try to remember these kinds of things, I think, yeah, let's see whether it helps or not. Okay. So look, let me take the attendance. Let me stop students here. 1 second. Okay, chalo, I have taken it. Chalo, bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.